with them. They need to at least want to be you to a degree. You need to at least be their hero to a degree. This is where liberalism wins. I don't think a lot of conservatives understand that liberalism's sexy. You do drugs, you run around, you burn stuff. It's cool. You get a party. Because what do conservatives do? Stay home, stay home, stay home. It's boring, right? At least what they don't understand is that conservatives will sit there and go, he's a terrible role model because he has all these pretty girls in this fast car and he's a materialistic. That's the reason I can actually help the world. That's the reason young boys will listen to me. You said it yourself, 14, 15-year-old boys, they'll look at my life and go, okay, I want to listen to this guy. They don't want to listen to me if I sit behind a desk and read Republican Bill 308. I don't read that crap. I don't know. And they don't care. And I also think that especially in the masculine realm, we certainly like to see people lead by absolute and our example.
In January, when I was thrown in a jail cell, the media reported and told the world that I was a terrible person. They said that I hurt people and I make a lot of money from criminal enterprise, and here we stand 7 or 8 months later and I've not seen a single victim on the news. I don't know if you have. I've seen lots of girls sticking up for me, lots of people defending me. I've not seen a single person stand up and say that I have hurt them. Not one. It's very exhausting to continue to perpetuate lies. It's very hard to keep lies afloat when you have no actual evidence. We've been completely innocent since the beginning of this, and I have to give absolute faith to the Romanian judicial system for finally making the right decision and letting us free. I'm sure in the end we'll be absolutely exonerated, and everybody who was pushing these lies and reporting things on repeat without any substantial evidence are going to have to analyze within themselves why they decide to try and destroy people's lives purely for views. I've done nothing wrong. God knows I've done nothing wrong. In my heart, I know I've done nothing wrong. I think the people at home who with a functioning brain understand we've done nothing wrong, because nobody has yet to identify a single victim which is saying that we've done anything to them since the beginning of this entire process. Once again, absolute respect to the judge, respect to Romania, respect to the Romanian judicial system. I look forward to being completely exonerated in due time. Thank you.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the so-called top G, Andrew Tate, who was spending a lot of time on the top bunk in a Romanian jail cell without being formally charged with any type of crime, under suspicion of trafficking and other allegations as well too. Okay, and he finally got released, I think due to public pressure, because a lot of people saw that, hey, the guy has been accused of awful things that a lot of people disagree with, but you can't just hold him in a jail cell without actually formally charging him with a crime. He was then released and placed on house arrest and eventually charged with crimes, okay, related to human trafficking and rape, right? And he now basically is awaiting his trial, and he has received some good news, okay, as he's actually been released from house arrest, and he is taking kind of a victory lap in regards to his release from house arrest, because finally a judge has kind of ruled in his favor. And again, he's taking a victory lap over this. Take a look.
I spent 3 months in a jail cell, in a dungeon, with cockroaches sharing my blanket with me. 3 months. Then I finally got released. 7 months I've been locked in my house, and today a judge decided to let me go. I want everybody at home to understand exactly why that is. Up until now, all of the imprisonment and the deprivation of my liberty had nothing to do with evidence. It wasn't about evidence in a case file. It was the Romanian judicial system trying to decide if 1, I am a public danger, or 2, I am a flight risk. And to be fair to them, I am not emotional, I am a professional, even when I am suffering. And I understand, as an international man of huge financial resource, it's easy to deem me a flight risk. So my liberty was deprived. Only recently I was charged. This indictment appeared. I want everybody at home to also understand that 3 different federal agencies from 3 different countries have investigated my life for the last 15 months. Every photo I've ever taken, every video I've ever made, every conversation I've ever had, every phone call, 2,000 people who know me were contacted. Every single ex-girlfriend, my vet, my pool guy, my old house cleaner in an apartment I used to have 11 years ago. You name them. If they had anything to do with me, no matter how tedious the link, they were contacted and they were interviewed. Hotlines were set up. Billboards were made. Has Andrew Tate ever hurt you? Do you have any information on Andrew Tate? The media was offering £50,000 for anybody who would give a negative story to me. Find another man who has hundreds of ex-girlfriends and not a single one of them rolled on me. Not a single one of them for money would say I'm a bad person. In fact, they would all say the opposite and defend me and stick up for me. You want to talk about a man of moral fiber? Find another man who can go through that. There's not another man on the street you can find whose ex-girlfriends who wouldn't turn on him. The media, all over the news. Andrew Tate's the worst man that's ever been. Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. Andrew Tate's a crime boss. He's a crime lord. Andrew Tate has all this money from illicit activities. Every penny I've ever made, all of my bank accounts seized. 15 million euros of assets were taken from me. They've been through every single bank transfer that I've ever sent. All of it, head to toe, to put this indictment together. So when this indictment is finally created, it should be an opera, right? It should be Shakespeare. It should show money transfers, victims, old victims from long ago, videos, pictures, medical records. This indictment should be absolutely bulletproof. The indictment was put together. I was held for 6 months without charge. That's the longest possible time I can be held without charge. The day before they finally submitted this indictment, it took as much time as they could. They took it down to the wire, every minute they could, to get this indictment together. And now the indictment's been put in front of a judge. And what has the judge done? The judge has picked up this indictment, looked at it, and said, this is garbage, let him go.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? That's Andrew Tate's argument. Now, I gotta tell you guys, this is a weird topic to talk about because I feel like people are very divided on this issue of Andrew Tate, especially conservatives. And the reason why is because just recently, a lot of mainstream conservatives have been attacking Tate. Some have been defending Tate, but a lot of people have been attacking Tate because, you know, Tate seemingly on camera before in the past has admitted to basically being a pimp, right? He's made his money off of pornography, basically, seemingly taking advantage of women, even though I must admit that I don't think I've ever heard any real evidence to suggest that, you know, Tate was holding women against their will, or that, you know, they couldn't stop working for them, even though he hypnotized them and, you know, tricked them into working for him. I don't think I've ever seen anything, and I could be missing something here, right? There's a whole lot of stuff the man has said. There's a whole lot of things out there. I don't think I've ever seen anything to suggest that he was actually holding them against their will, right? Or that they couldn't escape or leave or quit working for him. It seems to me that they kind of worked for him under their own will, right? That's what they wanted to do. They liked the money they was making. I'm just saying, I don't know. But furthermore, he made money off of essentially exposing young men to things that even himself admits is not a good thing for young men. And a lot of conservatives just don't like it, okay? But you do have some conservatives like, you know, Candace Owens, and I'm not sure if you can call Tucker Carlson a conservative, but I think that he is for the most part. They've been kind of defending Andrew Tate, along with PBD as well too, right? They've been kind of taking Tate's side. So there's kind of a conservative divide in regards to what to make of Andrew Tate and these allegations against him. And, you know, there's mashups out there like this one I'm about to play of, you know, people basically comparing what Andrew Tate is telling people like, you know, Candace Owens versus what he said before in the past. And they're basically, you know, making an argument that Andrew Tate is lying and he's fooling conservatives into believing that he's somebody that, you know, we should put on a pedestal when we shouldn't.
It was just an extract of something that you said that 10 years ago. Some of them were literally 10 years ago. Yep. So I do want you to contextualize this video that has been circulating on the internet of you talking about the loverboy method. So we'll take a look at that right now.
Sure. You cannot get a girl to work for you having fun. So the recruitment process is the same as the PhD course. You message them on Instagram. The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal, no mention of webcam. You f the girl. After you f the girl, you do the PhD test. If she passes the PhD test and she wants to be with you, then you start mentioning things like, yeah, but you know, you're always busy. You're always at work. You can come work for me.
Okay, so first question, when was this video taken?
Yeah, so this video is from 10 years ago, and this is me explaining how having a webcam company, it's actually a larger video as a whole.
So, as I said, you cannot try and approach girls to do webcam. Hi, do you want to do webcam? It's bullshit. It doesn't work.
And it's explaining my general, overall, explains my life and how things are affected owning a pornography company, because obviously a lot of women will be put off by that.
No one's going to say yes. And any girl who does say yes is doing it. She doesn't like you. She doesn't know you. She doesn't love you. She's saying yes purely for money.
It doesn't explain, it doesn't say I'd be very careful how I answer this question because I'm currently under an investigation, right? So I'd be very careful how I answer it. People are trying to chop it up and say that it says I am using the loverboy method to somehow convince women to do things they didn't want to do. This is obviously not the case.
No mention of webcam. You f the girl. After you f the girl, you do the PhD test. So yeah, on CobraTate.com, I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm.
Clever.
And
Clever.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me. Because that's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them. Because that's a completely different game as well. So I teach everything I know in there.
People are trying to chop it up and say that it says I am using the loverboy method to somehow convince women to do things they didn't want to do.
Oh, I don't want to do that. So, okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen. Come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Very controversial, and I just want to be clear. I don't think that's right. I don't think what Andrew Tate did to, basically, I guess, lure women into working for webcam is right. I guess technically you can define what he did as trafficking. Okay, I guess. But, for me personally, I guess my main thing is that he didn't really force them to do anything, right? I mean, getting them over there and then basically making the women fall in love with him clearly is wrong if your intent is really to get them to perform sex work for you. Clearly that's wrong, okay? Clearly that should be condemned. Clearly that's not a moral thing to do. But again, my whole thing is, did he force them? Did he say, hey, look, you can't leave. You're going to have to stay here and I'm going to force you to do it. And, you just have to do it and that's it. I'm not seeing exactly where he did that or the evidence that happened. But again, I could be missing something. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen everything. If somebody has that, I mean, clearly you can show me, right? But, Andrew Tate claims that he's innocent, okay, that he's not guilty of any of this stuff. So actually, let's read about what's going on here. Social media influencer Andrew Tate has been released from house arrest in Romania Friday as he awaits trial on rape and human trafficking charges. The Bucharest Court of Appeals in the Eastern European country's capital ruled that it, quote, places the house arrest measure with that of judicial control for a period of 60 days from August 4th until October 2nd, according to Reuters. Yeah, so Andrew Tate is celebrating this as if this is a victory, even though he didn't win his trial. He's still going to have to go to trial. He could still end up going to jail. But at least, again, he's not stuck in his house, okay? Under the new measures, Tate, his brother Tristan, and two Romanian women who have been indicted on the charges can leave their homes, but not Bucharest and the surrounding Evolve County, the news agency reports, adding that they must check often with police and are restricted from visiting the alleged victims. Prosecutors said in June that the Tate brothers, who are dual British U.S. citizens, allegedly recruited 7 female victims, quote, by misleading them about the intention to establish a marriage/cohabitation relationship and the existence of real feelings of love, the loverboy method. The victims were later transported and housed in buildings in Evolve County, where they were subjected to acts of physical violence and mental coercion through intimidation, constant surveillance, control, and invoking alleged debts, prosecutors say. Again, I don't know, right? I don't know. This is something that has to be worked out in trial. I'm not taking a side, right? I'm not taking a side. I don't know, okay? Members of the group allegedly sexually exploited the victims, who were forced to perform acts on camera for dissemination on social media platforms, according to a statement from Romania's largest anti-organized crime agency, the Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism. The 4 defendants are accused of forming a criminal group in 2021 in order to commit the crime of human trafficking in Romania, as well as other countries such as the United States and Great Britain. Quote, we've been completely innocent since the beginning of this, and I have to give absolute faith to the Romanian judicial system for finally making the right decision of letting us free. Tate was quoted by Reuters as saying Friday outside of his home in Bucharest, quote, I'm sure in the end we'll be absolutely exonerated. A judge is currently reviewing files in the case before it heads to trial. Prosecutors have ordered the confiscation of the Tate brothers' assets, including 15 luxury cars, luxury watches, and about $3 million in cryptocurrency. DCOT statement said in June. Tate, 36, has resided in Romania since 2017. The former professional kickboxer, who has garnered millions of followers online promoting a luxurious alpha male lifestyle, has completely claimed that Romanian prosecutors have no evidence and has alleged that the case is a political conspiracy designed to silence him. It's the Matrix is what he says, right? It's the Matrix. Tate spokesperson Matia Petruscu says the brothers are prepared to, quote, demonstrate their innocence and vindicate their reputation. Yeah, so again, do I know whether he's innocent or guilty? I really don't know, right? I think he definitely, at the very least, admitted to things on camera in a way that was not very smart, okay? I understand he was trying to sell a program, okay? He was trying to make money, but that's not something I would have said on camera, right? And I just think he hasn't really made a lot of smart moves when it comes to that. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's guilty. I have no clue, right? I'm just following it until the end, right? And we can see, what the evidence is and, come to a conclusion from there. But I do think it's fascinating what we're seeing happen in conservative circles, which is that you have some conservatives like Candace, Tucker, PBD. I'm not sure, again, if I can call every one of those people conservatives. Maybe they're more libertarian, more freedom leaning, more, I guess, red pill, right leaning or whatever, versus more traditional conservatives like, Ben Shapiro or a Michael Knowles, Ali Beth Stuckey. Like, I've seen all these people give their opinions on Tate, and there's a deep divide, okay? There's a deep divide. You see some of these people, they're turning on Pearl as well, too, right? They don't like what they see as extremism coming from the red pill, right? And they see people like Pearl, Tate, Fresh and Fit as an embodiment of values that aren't really conservative, right? It's gone so extreme that it's not conservative anymore. It's like, it's red pill, right? It's not really conservative. It's a whole different kind of thing. Okay, and again, I just find it to be a fascinating thing that we're witnessing, and I do find it to be very thought-provoking to think about both sides of the issue here in regards to the people that are low-key kind of defending Tate and the people that are attacking Tate, specifically from the conservative point of view in the conservative circles, because again, it is fascinating because there is a lot of overlap with the red pill and conservative stuff, and again, I think you're seeing the divide happen here with Tate. So it remains to be seen whether or not the guy is, or whether he will be found to be guilty or innocent. I think either way, people are going to have their own opinions just based off what he admitted to doing on camera in regards to basically getting women to, work for him in ways that I think we all can agree is not the most moral thing to do. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.